Hey, Terry, welcome to what would you call it? A tumultuous Terry Tuesday
I would,
at
absolutely.
Turf Paradise. Well, we're going to do parks. We're all prepared. And then, of course, the memo came out that Parks is indeed not running again for the second day in a row. So, I mean, we got away with being able to do Santa Anita yesterday, and Terry had a nice day there, making a little bit of money. I
Yeah.
lost a quarter, so that that didn't work out very well, but just a
That was
quarter.
that was a nice pick four though in that last four races you had. So
Yeah, it
I
was
just
all right.
missed it because I didn't use your first pick in that one leg.
Yeah, I mean, I missed a lot of picks along the way. It's going to be a tough day for me most of the time. So I'm trying to find, as I said, when we do these $100 wagers, I'm trying to find some prices that I can mix in
Yeah.
and get one ticket where it pays for the whole day. And well, that kind of happened yesterday with that pick four. All right, we're kind of pressed for time. So
Let's go.
today we're going to do Turf Paradise, which is our alternative. We had the hustle. You got a little echo going on there today again, Terry. I don't know why you echo, man, but it's just you. All right. So Turf Paradise race number 1 is 6.5 furlong. It's the claiming 12,500 for a purse of $16,000. It's coming up in just a minute. Let's pull up our simulations for race number 1 at Turf Paradise, Terry. And what do you see in any of these notes?
Well, I'll tell you, it looks like to me there are a couple of horses going to go to the front there, the 4 and the 5, and possibly that 3 could come from behind to get those. Yeah, it looks like it's a pretty wide open race between those three horses.
Odds wise, yeah, it looks pretty good there. So let's take a quick look at our way to the winner's circle worksheet real quick. The E's are wire-to-wire types. The EPs can go wire-to-wire or sit within the shadow of the leaders, no more than 2 lengths usually. P-types, pressures don't go wire-to-wire, but they do sit in the shadows. PCs can sit in the shadows or close. C's are straight-up closers. If you look at the shape of this race, it does look like there's plenty of early speed in here, which includes that 3 and 4. Terry's talking about coming from off the pace. The 3 and 4 have some of the most early legs, according to some recency bias. If you're looking for that one to come off the pace, it's going to be your 2-horse, Terry. Take us through your picks.
All right. Well, I like the number 3, Discernment. She won her 2 races in a row and then ran 4th after being bumped at the start in her last race, so I'll excuse that. Number 4, V-Bucks, ran 2nd in her last race, has a trainer-jockey combination in the last 14 days, has been in money 6 out of 9 times, winning 3 of those. Number 5, Seven Sisters. She ran 2nd in her last race. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. The long shot is 6, Even Pandora. She finished 3rd in her last race, switches to a high percentage winning jockey, has a trainer wins 25% of the time when dropping a horse off a claim. And I'm going to do a pick 4 here. First race 3, 4, 5 with the 2, 6, then with the 7, 8, and then with the 3, 5, 6, 7, 8.
All right, so Terry's going to come out of the box swinging, and the first race is coming up in a few minutes. We would have got started a little bit earlier, but Turf Paradise puts their scratches out 30 minutes to post. What the hell's going on down there in Arizona? Anyway, in race number 1, I'm going to start off my picks at Turf Paradise with the number 4 horse, V-Bucks. He's making a 3rd start off, a layoff for trainer Robertino Diodoro. This horse has some nice workouts in between races. Number 3, Discernment. On the fast dirt, which it's going to get today, 18 races, 6 wins, 6 seconds, and a 3rd. Did run the top last race, speed figure last time out. Should be one that's on the pace, also making the 3rd start off the break. And if you look, the previous 3-race cycle, that 3rd race was the best. Number 1, the Midnight Garden is the first off the claim for James Brown. Ha! Gotta love James Brown, the hardest working man in show business. But the first off the claim for Mr. Brown, 24% versus 19% overall. That is a 5% alpha angle for the King of Soul. Fractions were as fast at 1 mile last time out for 6.5. And finally, number 5, Seven Sisters. That would be about 6 too many for me. Just needs to run back 3 races and should be 4ly placed. No, my sister was fantastic. Had a great sister. All right, just joking though, of course. Let's see. Rock and Ray says, how's it going today? Calabasas, California. Welcome today. Van Belor has won All right. So race number 2 is next up. With no turtle today, apparently, Rock and Ray. I thought you knew Charles. Do you know Charles? Because you're from California. He's from out there too. And he was kind of curious when I was telling him the way you were cracking on him the other day. All right. Race number 2 at Turf Paradise is 1 1/16 mile, optional claiming $16,000. They've only run 1 or 2 races at the distance. Only one race. It was one from off the pace, post 4 through 7. Terry, for race number 2, do you see anything that stands out to you from our simulations?
Well, it appears that 4 is going to go to the front, try to lead all that way. It looks like a pretty good time here. If he doesn't get pressed, he might just do that. But
he could go all the way.
That might be right, but I think there's going to be some trouble from that 6 horse, Family Biz.
Well, also looking at the simulation odds, it looks to me like the 3 and maybe the 1. The 1 could be a pretty good value here. 6-1. 1,000 simulations say horses' odds could be closer to 2-1. Our way to the winner's circle, one of the few scratches today. We see that the 5 horses out, but our race shape here should benefit speed because you have 2 horses that can either go wire to wire or be patient on the front. If these guys aren't really going to put a lot of pressure on them, well, there's no reason for them to run a whole lot of fast fractions, Terry. So maybe they can go 1-2 all the way around the track.
Yeah, that could happen. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, I like the number 6, Family Biz. He ran second versus similar his last race. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Number 2, Swamp Souffle. He won 2 races in a row and drops off a win. And then number 3, T-Bone's Trick. He has won his last race, has a high percentage winning jockey. And that number 1 horse you talked about, Surprisingly Perfect, is my long shot. He drops in class today. And then I liked for my bet a trifecta with the 2-6, with the 2-3-6, with the 1-2-3-4-6.
All right. In race number 2, as we hustle along, thanks to the late scratches, I'm going to start off with the 3-horse T-Bone's Trick at Turf Paradise. He's run 4 times, got 3 wins and 1 second. Pretty good dexterity there. Won the last and has 3 workouts since, including a bullet, and then go right to the track. Number 1, Surprisingly Perfect, has been running in the non-graded stakes ranks at Turf Paradise 12 times, 5 wins, a second and 3/3. It's another one that has a bullet and then go to the track to race today. So that bullet says should be ready for another good run at the Arizona track. Number 2, Swamp Souffle. Sounds tasty to me. Won 2 in a row. This guy's going to drop in class. The question for me here is the distance. It could be an issue. And then finally, number 4, Bigfoot City. Distance won't be a problem for this one. And this one could be out on the front, as you see on our 1,000 simulations all by itself. Can run some easy fractions, can get a W to W win, wire to wire. I'm going to put together a 50-cent trifecta with the 1 and the 3, with the 1, 2, 3, with the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Although I am concerned that the 4 could screw me up if it gets some slow fractions. Not what I'm looking for, but let's see if that's what happens. Race number 3 at Turf Paradise is a 4.5 furlong. So don't blink. This one will be over. It's claiming $4,000 at 4.5 furlongs. There's an early speed bias with an inside 3. The 1, 2, and 3 have a little bit of a bonus. 4+ is a little bit under par. 67% of the races so far have gone wire to wire, Terry. So if you think it's going to go wire to wire, which ones does the simulator say we should be focused on?
Well, it looks like the number 6, the one they think, and the number 2. But if you look at that number 1, that looks like it might be an overlay on that morning line because they've been going off at just under 2-1. So you might get some money on that one.
Could be. It looks like the 6-horse, the 8-horse here might be the one that has the best chance to go wire to wire. Let's take a look if the pace favors the 8-horse to get that sort of trip. We do get a scratch here. I think it's helpful for the 8-horse. That's the 6 being knocked out of this race. And then you have the 2 and the 8. The 8 usually been one that wins by closing. So today, a little bit of a left arrow action for that one. Going to be a little bit closer to the front than its normal winning ways. The 5-horse right here in the middle has the most late pace, the best combination of early speed and late speed. It's a pretty balanced race, so the best trip is probably going to win. Who's going to get that trip, Terry?
All right. Well, originally had the 6 as my top horse, but as you know, it got scratched. So I'm going with the 7, Ready to Forgive. He finished 8th in his last race, but he had a lot of trouble. So I'm going to throw that one out. Then number 8, Restoring Dreams, that left arrow horse, came in from Southern California. He ran 6, but the trainer wins 37% of the time when he has a second start with the horse. And then number 3 that he's claimed. And then number 3, Limited Offer. He switches to a high percentage winning jockey and has the highest last race speed rating. My long shot's the number 1, Master Ruler. His early speed running style helps his chances, and he has the highest speed figure at today's distance.
Number 3, race 3. I'm going to start off with that number 1 horse, Master Ruler. Horse is making its second start off a layoff, so expecting some improvement here. Big fan of the 4.5 furlong distance. Done it 9 times, won 4 of them, second twice. So that one horse has a pretty good shot. Number 5, Ascot Storm, has the most late pace in this field. At 4.5 furlongs, don't know how much that's going to matter, but shouldn't be all that far off the pace. And then has the best combination of early speed and late speed. Number 5, Restoring Dreams. This one could be your pace setter, at least amongst the front. Also a must bet. I'm sorry, this is number 8, Restoring Dreams. Could be that pace setter, according to this, 46% odds to be on the front there. And it's a must bet based upon 2/3 of the horses going wire to wire. If it's post time, odds are 3-1 or up. Just statistically speaking, if it gets the lead, it's about a 31% chance it wins. And then finally, number 2, Baptism, is another one that should be forwardly placed and benefits with the 6 scratching. For you, you don't have any bets. For me, I'm going to do a $1 pick 3 here. All with the 1 and the 2, all 1-2 in legs, second, 2 and 3. All right. Sounds like they're going into post here for the first. Nah, not yet. Pretty close. So let's see if we can get rolling to race number 4 right away, Terry. Race 4 at Turf Paradise is a 6.5 furlong, claiming $6,250, purse of 12.4. 6.5 furlongs does favor horses with early speed. Post positions 1 through 7 are fair. You do get a sizable bonus if you wear an 8 or out. And 46% of the horses here go wire to wire. Terry, you see anything here that might get to the lead?
Yeah, that one looks like he's going to really blast out of the gate there and go to the there. The only one that might give him some problems, according to the information here, is the number 2. So I think that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. And you look like you got pretty good odds of that number 1. The morning line odds are 6-1 versus it should be around 1.7-1.
Yeah, so maybe 8-5 might be a good lay for that. So let's look at the weight of the winner circle worksheet here for race number 4, and then that race will get started, and we'll talk about what happens in race 1. The 2 is scratched. You do have that one horse over here sitting all by itself because everybody else is a pressure or closer type. That one has a ton of early speed advantages at 2 furlongs and at 4 furlongs. Absolutely, to win this race, you're going to have to pass that one horse. But before we talk about passing the one horse, let's look at race number 1 again, Terry. And in race number 1, we both have pick 4s here. Terry with the 3-4-5, then 2-6, 7-8, 3-5-6, 7-8. I'm starting off with the 3-4, with the 1-2-3, with the 1-5-8, and then the 1-8 for me. So
yeah, it'd be nice to see that 5 for me.
I don't know why you're always thinking about yourself, Terry.
I am. That's just the way I am. Selfish.
All right. So our good friend Craig Baddock is calling the race, and out they go. The 4 horse gets to the lead as V-Bucks, as we kind of put in there. And then 2 is outside. It looks like it is the 5 horse. Yes, indeed. So it's 4-5 as they come down the opening quarter, coming up in just a second here. Kind of hard to see because there's a ton of palm trees that these horses run through. So that opening quarter was in 22 3/4. And looks like the 4 horse is comfortably on the front right now. V-Bucks with Jorge Carreno riding the horse calmly. And the 5 horse is trying to make its move. But he looks like the 4-horse is starting to widen a little bit. So the question is if anybody's going to be able to catch up. It doesn't look like it right now. That 5 is kind of blowing the turn. So if he wins the race, it'll be kind of surprising to me, but you never know. He's been passed by the 1-horse. The only horse that looks like it might have a chance to catch the 4 is the 1. Yeah, it's going to be 4. If the question is by margin, it's going to go 4. Looks like 1. And then it's going to be the 3 or the 2. 4, 1, 2, 3 is how I got it. Is that how you see it, Terry, too?
Yeah, although I'm a little behind on my screen here than you. So
yes, 4, 1, 2, 3. So there
Yeah.
we go. Nice little bit of the start to the pick 4 for both of us. So we're off to a good start. Hopefully we can get all the way through and cash that ticket. Sorry for my race call, folks. There are too many palm trees in the way. Agreeing with yourself. Yes, indeed. You always got to agree with yourself. If you don't agree with yourself, to whom can you agree? Rock and Ray, right? All right. Finally, let's move on to race number. Oh, we didn't do our picks for race number 4, right, Terry? So let's go ahead and make our picks for race 4. Tell us what you got in race 4, Terry.
Well, I think I have nothing in race 4. So
you do have some horses, no?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about the horses. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, Silly Notion. You know what? This silly girl's finished in the money, and 70% of her starts at Turf's Paradise, and she's won 33% of those races and really likes this distance. Then number 3, M&M Girl, finished 3rd in her last race and has the best start speed, which is fastest among today's starters. Number 8, TikTok, the clock. She finished 3rd in her last race, has the highest last race speed rating. Then number 6, Mo Conley is my long shot, finished 3rd in the last race, and I'm going to pass on a bet here.
I'm going to start off with that 1 horse that's just too big of an early race advantage to pass up. 12 point at 2 furlongs, so it could be 2 lengths ahead of everybody else. We just saw a horse at 6.5 furlongs go wire to wire. The 9, then at the 4 furlongs has a 9-point advantage. Just too much of a big advantage not to put this one on the top, especially when you consider it's facing a field, as we saw here. It's a reminder in our Way to the Winner's Circle worksheet where everybody else wants to be middle and back. So for me, too big of an advantage. Lone speed, everybody's looking for it. I'm going to go with number 8, TikTok, top last race speed figure. This guy has a ton of late pace and will be rolling at the end of the run. Number 5, Silly Notion. Last race was better than it looks with better fractions, at least through the first half mile at 1 mile compared to 7 furlongs in the start before that. And then number 6, Mo Connolly, was a tough call for me over the 7, but I'm going to take the lone PC horse and the jockey who wins just about every race down there in Harry Hernandez. Let's move on to race number.
What's your bet?
Oh, my bet. Yes, indeed. Thank you for reminding me. I'm going to do a $1 pick 3 here. 1 in this race, singling to 1, singling to 2, and then going all in that last leg, which I think is going to be a pretty wide open race. There's 1 horse in there that's going to be a big favorite, that 9 horse. But there's a lot of reasons why. I could think of about 40 of them that I'm going to see if we can beat them. In race number 5, and I know Terry is going to be upset because he's coming in from Golden Gate, but nonetheless. In race 5, they're going to run 1 mile on the turf. It's a claiming $8,500. Non-winners of 2. Purse is $12,000. 1 mile on the turf. It favors horses that have some early speed. There is in a ginormous bonus if you get the post positions 1, 2, or 3. So far, nobody from 8 or out has won. In race number 5, again, you look at this race shape. There really aren't any horses, despite the early speed bias for the distance so far, that really have a history of getting to the lead or running in the shadows. That honor is probably going to go to the 2 horse here. It has a 14-point advantage through 2 furlongs, 13-point advantage through 4 furlongs. The 2 horse is going to be on the lead. If you combine early speed and late speed, this 2 horse has a 12-point advantage over everybody else. The 7 is out. If you're looking for closers, maybe the 1, maybe the 6, maybe the 3. Terry, who do you got?
All right. Well, I've got a closer, number 6, Solander. He came in from Hastings and finished 3rd versus similar in the last race at Turf Paradise. Should improve with additional distance because he's a deep closer. Number 5, Guest Check. Ran second versus similar in his last race after having some trouble. Number 4, Tour of the World. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then I like as a long shot, number 1, Thirsty Kiss. Has a high speed figure at today's distance, and the rail post winning at a fantastic 34% clip. I'm going to bet another pick 4 here in the 5th race. I'm going to use the 4, 5, 6. Then I'm going to use in the 6th, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7th, 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. And then 8th, I'm going to play a single, number 6, a horse in from Southern California. Although that horse has not raced for over a year, I'm still thinking it's going to do really well today.
Well, I like the 2 horse. We forgot to discuss the 1,000 simulations. This is 1,000 simulations at the quarter-mile marker. So this is a 97% chance this 2 horse is going to be on the lead. We saw that in our pace worksheet. Also, the morning line odds should probably be a little closer to 3-2 than 6-1, according to 1,000 simulations using speed figures. So those are all the reasons why I'm going to put the 2 on top. Just another one that has too much of an early pace advantage over everybody else to ignore it. Number 5, Guest Check, did beat some of these last out and has a good history of being close to the pace. Number 6, Solander, could improve in the second start off of a layoff. The early pace figures were also better for this one last time out. And number 1, Thirsty Kiss, was a difficult call for me over year 4, Terry, and here, but I don't think you can ignore the 34% winning rail, which is just too big of a number to. There's clearly some advantage to starting first there. I'm going to do a $1 double. I'm going to put that 2 horse with all of this speed advantage over everybody else in race number 6. And race number 6, let me just pop this up on here real quick, Terry. Race number 6 at Turf Paradise is a 5 furlong maiden claiming, $8,500. Too many first-time starters to do simulations because it just completely screws up the numbers. Too many first-time starters to do the way to the winner's circle. So we'll just go straight to picks, Terry.
Yeah, that's right. It's a really wide open race. There's a lot of first-timers. I like number 9, Sugar Shane. He has the highest last speed rating and drops in class today, although there's not much to do a speed rating against. Number 4, Company's Dreams, my second choice. He is a first-time starter. His dam has 4 winners from 6 starters. The breeding suits today's distance. Number 10, Renegade Warrior. He arrived from Golden Gate Fields and ran 6 after coming really wide in the stretch, but he has a high percentage winning trainer. And then another, my long shot, number 7, another for Brooks. He's a first-time starter, has a nice workout on December 8th, and I'm going to skip any bets here.
Well, this 9 horse, Terry, coming in from Golden Gate Fields, was the betting favorite, and it is a track drop for sure. Showed early pace, gets first-time Lasix. There's 1,000,001 reasons to circle this horse as a single. But I'm going to give you 30 reasons right now why you can't put him on top as a single. Jockey Jose Leon has run 30 times so far at Turf Paradise, and he's got as many wins as you and I do, Terry. 0. And then trainer Alex Torres Casas, so far 17 races at Turf Paradise. You know how many wins Alex has? 0. 47 reasons why Sugar Shane shouldn't be a single, although on paper it looks like it should destroy this field. I mean, at some point that O's got to go. Number 7, another for Brooks. First-time starter, like some of his works, especially the last 2, and one back on November the 18th. Number 4, Company's Dream, is another first-time starter. The December 16th work of 59-2 for 5 furlongs might actually be fast enough to win this race. Number 11, Catch Me at the Lake. My summertime fun back in the high school days. I'm going to take a first-time flyer here with decent works, and quite frankly, there really isn't a whole lot to beat in this race. So much so that my bet here is going to be a $1 double. I'm going to put all with the 7 and the 8 in the next leg, which is race number 7. And for race number 7, we go back to 6.5 furlongs for a claiming $6,250 race. Purse is $12,400. If we take a look here, Terry, at our simulations, this one looks like there's some opportunity for different horses to get on the front and maybe some good odds in here too.
Yeah, it looks like that number 5 is going to go out for the lead with number 2 right hot on its tail. And the 4 could do all right too. But It looks like that you've got some good-looking odds in here. It's another race that's pretty wide open. As you can see in my pick 4, I really spread in this race. So,
So one pace set up in this race, the 2-horse, which I felt was a key horse in this race, is going to be out, which was one of my picks. That leaves the 8 as the lone closer in here, which could be advantageous. So you got a whole rest of these horses in here that want to be on the lead or press for the lead. The 6-horse might be the fastest of them all. And a lot of times when I'm looking at races like this, you got a ton of speed. You want the speed of the speed, or maybe the one that can sit right off the pace and close. That looks like it might be the 1-horse, as it has the most late speed. And if you put together early speed and late speed, a combination that adds up to more than 5 points to the next closest one. So maybe the 6, maybe the 1, those two might be very dangerous in this spot. Terry, what do you say?
Yeah, I agree. The 1 is going to be very dangerous. He's going to be my first pick, star entry. Won his last race at Turf Paradise, and he switches to high percentage winning jockey. And then the other one you mentioned, number 6, After the Candy, has an early foot and the highest speed favorite today's distance. I like number 7, Upper Room. He likes the track and has a sharp workout on December 23rd. My long shot is number 3, Golden Cowboy. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starter. And again, I'm going to skip any bet here.
I'm going to start with that 7, Upper Room. This horse is taking a significant step down in class and has a really fast work in between races. Number 8, Warrior Fighter. Major upgrade in times and speed number last time out. Is the lone PC horse with a lot of speed in front of it to chase. If they go too fast up front, it's going to run by them all at the end. Number 6, After the Candy, did run better fractions at 5.5 furlongs compared to 4.5 furlongs, and does have an early pace advantage over everybody else at 4 furlongs. And then that 1-horse, as that plus early pace, late pace combination, could get a really good trip as the lone EP with mostly speed horses in front of it. My only concern with the 1 is that why it's not ranked a little bit higher is it's got a lot of speed and could end up getting trapped on the rail and then have to kind of go wide and maybe get shuffled back for a funky trip. I'm going to go here with a 50-cent trifecta, 6, 7, 8 over to 7, 8 over to 1, 3, 6, 7, and 8, because I do not have a key horse in this race. That's why I bet my trifectas that way. Finally, race number 8 is a 7.5 furlong race. It is on the turf course. 7.5 furlongs does favor, at least in terms of the profile of a 7.5 furlong winner. Stalkers so far have done the best. 0 wins from the rail. So that Shinny, who's running down there, that number 1 horse, is a big fan favorite at Turf Paradise. Won at the distance a couple times. I think last year won the most races in the entire country. So big fan base down there. But that offer from the rail is very difficult to contend with. Terry, in terms of early speed, sure looks like that 4's got a shot, no?
It does. And if that 4 can get out there and not get any pressure, it just might go all the way, and it looks like pretty good odds if you look at that. Nice
I just took it away from you. Sorry about that, Terry.
Well, you look there, Morning the Line is 8-1. It should be going off around 4-1. So I think that if it stays at that 8-1, that looks like a pretty good play.
Could be, yeah. I like that too. Another overlay here is Giant Payday. Maybe you get a Giant Payday if that 9-horse comes home. Because it 10-1, it says here should be about 5-2. 5-1. So it cut in half as well. All right, now we can get to the pace worksheet. And this 2 and the 8, they have won their races going wire to wire, but they don't have the early pace numbers to put them on the lead. So even if they jump to the front, they're likely to fade. On paper, it looks like, you got to take one of these, but These 7, the 1, and the 4, particularly a left arrow horse, one that's won its races closing. It's normal, giddy up and go when the gates open. It's going to put it in contention for the lead. Then it has enough late pace to combine for the best early pace and late pace. But that 9-horse all by itself does have a plus late pace advantage at the end of the race. All right, for the last race of the day, Terry, what you got?
Well, I'm going to take a big chance here because I'm going to take a horse who hasn't been out for more than a year. The number 6 horse, Man Friday, comes in from Southern California, switches to a high percentage winning jockey. He drops in class today. I think he's a lot classier than most of these. And his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. then I like that number 1, even though that Rill is not good. He ran a nice last race and has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Number 2, the Rail Hugger, he won his last race at Turf Paradise and only need repeat that race. And then I'm going to take another horse that's been off for a year, number 5, Brother Reed. Basically, he's another class horse coming in from Southern California. So my win is 18%. I mean, my bet is $18 to win on number 6.
So you have 6 to win and place.
Well, that's because things change.
You're going to change it now? 18?
Yeah, I'll change it. Yeah.
Just 18 to win?
No, 18 to win on number 6.
Okay, on number 6. 18 to win number 6.
Yeah, there were some changes that made me decide that.
All right. Yeah, I'm just wanting to make sure because there we go.
Yeah.
I think we got it now. Okay, so 18 to win on the 6 for Terry. In the final leg for me, I'm going to go with that 3-horse Major Attraction. Won at this distance just 2 races ago. Looking for more in round 3 off the bench. Man Friday, that 6-horse coming in for more than a year off in the barn, does drop from $100,000 non-graded stakes race. Since this is optional claiming and he's not in for a claim, I'm not too concerned. I do think maybe Vladimir Serin, the trainer, is looking for the win or maybe just trying to tune his horse up. That's why I didn't put him first. The fact that he's not in for a claim does give me hope that they think they can win this race. But also the fact that he's not in for a price tells me they're concerned about losing the horse. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure which way to look on that one. Shinny, fantastic horse down there at Turf Paradise. Been a beast at this distance. 9 times, 6 wins, 2 seconds. But the rail is 0 for 15 at 7.5 furlongs on the Turf Paradise course. So until that rail wins, you got to continue to discount the one horse. And then finally, number 4, Bobby Brinkley is that left arrow horse with the best combination of early speed and late speed. I think this race is pretty wide open. So I'm going to do $1.50, trifecta. 3-6 with the 1-3-6 with the 1, 3, 4, 6, and 9. Unless I forget, 5s are wild today. I want to wish our good friend today, CC Perkinson, nothing but good luck with her 5-horse today in the race number 5. Guest check. Again, 5s are wild. Hopefully, Miss Perkinson, you're wearing the red pants today. Because if she is, folks, then you know that her horse has a fantastic chance to win. Because that is the go-to outfit for Miss CC Perkinson when her horse is ready to run. So keep an eye on that when you're looking at the post parade and see if CC's got those bright red ones on, Terry. All right, here's our full picks for the day. Race 1 is in the books. The 4-horse did come home. The winner off to, let's go back to full picks. Here, I got to click back on the arrow. So race number 2 is upcoming. You can see the full card picks there. While we look at these picks, Terry, any final thoughts before we get up and out of here today?
Well, yeah, just hope things are good with you guys in your area as far as the weather goes. I know it's been really rough and tough for you.
Mm-hmm.
Been raining like cats and dogs here since yesterday. So, but I just hope everybody stays safe, has a good week. Don't get too drunk on New Year's Eve if you're going to drink, and don't drive and drink. Give your loved ones a hug. And listen, if you like what you saw today, make sure that you on YouTube that you give us a thumbs up and that you register. What do you call that? Not
subscribe.
Register. Subscribe. There you go. I had a mental block there for a minute. Subscribe. And then also follow us on Twitter and Facebook and I think TikTok, Instagram at Horse Race, the number 2 day. Give us thumbs ups and likes on all of those. If you liked what you see today, it really helps us out.
Hey, Nick, I do see Charles every now and then when I tune in to the guy who does the, oh God, I can't remember the name of the show now. The bald guy who sits in the corner. Oh, I forget the name of it right now, but I think his name is Alex, and he does a pretty good job of handicapping the races too. Definitely. What is the name of the call? I can't remember the name right now. God, I hate when I draw a blank because it was right on the tip of my tongue right when I was about to say it, but I forgot. I'll look it up. If you haven't done so yet, a good thing you can do today, because college football bowl games got those real big bowl games coming up, Terry, between Michigan and TCU, and then Georgia and Ohio State. So if you want to make sure you get the right name, right plays there, our Professor Sides, the pick with the professor, it's going to tell you what the stats say. He does pretty well. There's a link in the description down below. There's also a link in the description down below where you can catch yourself some fantastic looking horse racing today stuff. Help support the show around here. We would 100% appreciate that. And let's see if I can remember the name of that show where Charles is sometimes. In the meantime, tomorrow, Charles B and I, Puffer. No, I won't do that to you, man. But my good man, Charles B, Santa Charles, will be joining us tomorrow and Thursday, most likely, for Gulfstream Park. Maybe we'll do Aqueduct on Thursday. Not 1,000% sure yet, but we'll see how that rolls out. And then, I don't think he's doing his show today right now. So I forget the name. I'll tell you tomorrow where you can find him again, Nick. I just forgot the name of the show altogether. All right, Terry, that wraps it up on a crazy day today in terms of trying to get everything done in short order. Hopefully we did a good job. Hopefully all of our picks do well. And no matter what you're doing today, even if you drink too much, it's celebrating New Year's Eve. We hope that when you wake up the next morning, you at least find yourself in
the winner's circle.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this terrific, tumultuous Terry Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow, Charles and I, for Gulfstream Park.